It's really a pleasure for me to be here. I wouldn't have missed tonight for the world. Some of you may or may not know, Cathy and I know each other long before our political careers. Our families were longtime friends, as I'll say, as the original Italian families of Peekskill all were over a century ago. So we go way back. And you can see there's a theme with the school district and a lot of us in public office, Republicans. Well, we kind of congregate in schools because there's only a handful of us in school systems. There's not a hell of a lot of Republicans in schools. So we kind of find each other. We've been good friends for a long time. And Cathy has, actually, you can blame Cathy. She's the one who one day said to me in school, hey, have you ever thought about getting involved with politics? I said, absolutely not. I never thought about it in my life. Why don't you come to a meeting? And I went to a GOP committee meeting, and the rest was history. They gave me what they always give the first rookie. They give them District 6 in Peekskill, which has about 10 Republicans in it. So when it comes time
That's Katie Delgado's jail right now.
It takes you about a half hour to get the signatures you need, and you feel like you actually did something good. So that's how I started. So you can blame Cathy for getting me involved in this whole thing. And I thank her for that because it's been so rewarding for me over the years. Now almost 20 years getting involved with first the couch in Vinny's living room and other places where I was asked to be involved in.
Don't worry, Linda, you don't have to go on the couch. Yeah. Don't worry.
I won't even report that. But you can bring your bathing suit now, right, Vinny?
Yeah.
But anyway, Cathy was, first I started on the council with Graham Gibbs being mayor, and I learned so much, and Cathy was the deputy mayor at that time, and so I got to serve with her as colleagues on the council, as council people together. And then when I was fortunate enough to become mayor, she became the deputy mayor for me, and she was such a stalwart and a reliable person, and the integrity is impeccable, as has been mentioned. Took meticulous notes, and still does, on all issues. Whenever somebody would say to somebody or to Cathy, I never said that, I would just sit back and let Cathy lay down. The day, the time, the actual words that were said. So whenever you needed to know what actually happened in the past, Cathy would tell you and be accurate completely. So she was so important to what happened at Peekskill, as Fran mentioned. So many things have happened over a number of administrations, and Cathy was really the common thread between all of them. And she was, without her there, I don't think a lot of those things would have happened. So Cathy, thank you for all you did for me when we worked together, all you've done for me to bring me along in the political world, all you did for me as deputy mayor, helped me along the way. And this is a well-deserved year of Cathy Pisani, because this is just the first celebration of the year for her. So, Cathy.
Before we make a presentation to the honoree tonight, I think it is apropos to have a few words come from the Honorable Cathy Pisani.
You know, in February I had a physical with Dr. David Burns, and I think he knows something about my health that he didn't share with me, because if I were to really think about and reflect upon this evening tonight, it sounds like a eulogy. You know, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm being honored this evening, but actually, everyone here has played a part in me being where I am today. And And if it weren't for the incredible mentorship, the incredible guidance, the incredible patience and love to show me the right thing to do at the right time, I would not be here. So actually, all of you need to be up here. Some of you may or may not know, I lived around the corner from Mike Finnegan. Mike Finnegan is several years younger than I am, and I didn't play doctor with him. I played teacher. And Mike would come down to my family's house around the corner, and that connection there was so pivotal to my future life. In 1977, I moved into River House, which was then River Ridge, and it was like a college dorm. Stu Gibbs lived there, Bruce Lindenbaum lived there, everybody in their 20s lived there. We had parties, there was a blackout in the 77 or so. We had the best time. Bruce calls me in 1980 and he said, you know, Kathy, I really think you need to go over to Peekskill Towers. It's going co-op. So I said, there's a lot of older people over there. Now, needless, they're my age now. But it was the difference of an older building, older people, and I said, gee, I don't think I want to do this. But the rent of $340 in 1980 for me at Peekskill at River House was tight. So I went to my parents and they said, do it, I'll give you the money, take the down payment, I think it's an important investment. Well, it was an investment economically for me, but more importantly, that particular event was an investment in my future. And why do I say that? Well, among the list on this honorary host committee, these people were spines, and to this day still are for me. But I was kind of nostalgic tonight because there were people such as Bob and Kay Herring, Alice and Harold Todd, Dot Chestnut, the late and the great Ed Gibbs. And then there was also a man by the name of Bob Flower. Now I happened to move onto a floor next to Bob Flower. His bedroom, actually, was adjacent to my living room. And I would pound on his bedroom wall all the time, and he'd pound on my living room wall. And we got to be very, very, very close friends. Well, one afternoon, shortly after I moved in, this tall man comes to my door. I had no idea who he was. And I guess I was the opinion, if I don't know them, I'm not really going to be so social with them. Well, I said, who are you? He said, come to the party next door. I said, who the heck are you? He said, I'm George Pataki. I said, so? Well, as it turned out, his father and my father graduated at Peekskill High School together in 1930. So that connection of moving to an older building with older people who are now my best friends was really instrumental, because at that time, George Pataki was contemplating running for mayor. Now, I was just a peon, I was just a nothing. The late and the great, not the late, but the best.
You weren't going to say the late and great Vinnie Bessie.
You know, there were people like Vinnie Bessie and Paula Bennett and Bob Flower and Joe Seymour, and a multitude of people converged in Bob Flower's apartment, maybe weekly. The next thing I know, and I sit there and I felt like an absolute moron. I came from a family that my father had a business in town for 40 years across from Gibbs. We had family shoes and men's clothing.